it's Sarah from Pilates, and I wanted to give you a beginner's Pilates workout. So I had a few requests for a beginner's workout, so this is what I'm going to do for you today. Now, the trick is for beginners is to listen to the technique and to give yourself a bit of time. So if you find you have to do this video a few times to kind of really get into the flow, you know, just do that. You will find that the first class is always going to be a little bit of an overload of information, because Pilates does include a lot of cues, but don't, you know, let that stop you. Just think, okay, the first time was a little bit messy, go have another go, and you know, as you do this video more often, you will become a pro at it, I promise you. So let's come on to hands and knees. That's it. So in your hands and knees position, I want your wrists to be under the shoulders, knees under the hips. That's it. Now flatten all your fingers into the floor. That's it. Take your toes under, breathe in. As you breathe out, I want you to hover your knees 5 to 10 centimeters over the floor. Now make sure that your spine is flat, so take your tailbone slightly under. Breathe in wide. As you breathe out, see if you can lift your belly button high into the body. As you breathe out, you tighten. Breathe in wide. Into the ribs. As you breathe out, you tighten. That's it. Breathe in wide. As you breathe out, you tighten. That's it. One more, one more. Well done. Come onto the knees with a little bit of momentum. I want you to sit back and take your leg next to the hands. If you get stuck, then what you do is you take your hands a little bit your foot a little bit forward, and just you sort of manipulate it a little bit. Now take your back knee further back and come onto the toes, little bounces, just to open up the front hip flexors. We got this. 8, 7, 6, 5, last 4, 3, 2. The hand that's caught in the middle, reach up, nice little stretch, and bring it back down. Well done. Knees back down. That's it. Other side. Breathe in. As you breathe out, other side. That's it. Take your back knee off, open up, little bounce. 8, 7, 6, 5, last 4, 3, 2, 1. Well done. Knees together. Little stretch into child pose and come onto your back. Perfect. So from here, palms facing up. So in Pilates, we need to keep your neutral alignment. That's what you're looking for. So first of all, the shoulders shouldn't be high, they should be low. Palms facing up will just allow for that to happen. Breathe out. As you breathe out, deflate your ribs so that they come down a little bit, but your lower back has a natural curve underneath it. Very important. So that means that your hips are stable as well. Hip bones, always remember your hips are a remote control to your lower back. So keep your hips aligned and your lower back will be probably aligned too. So that's a really good way of getting the little curve there. Left to right hip bone, if you just imagine there's a little bridge connecting the two, we're going to put a little cup of tea in the middle and we're going to keep it there. Breathe in as you breathe out. I need you now to pull your abs in, belly button towards the spine, right knee above the right hip bone. Breathe in, widen to the ribs. As you breathe out, second knee comes up. You got it. So now here, you have your knees over the hips. For beginners, this is normally, I would say, in 95% of the cases, people are fine with this. There's a bit of pressure on their core, but they can handle it. If you feel that actually it's a little bit too much pressure and you're hyperextending your spine, maybe you're pinching your lower back, you've lost your alignment, then take your knees slightly forward, but leave your lower back in its neutral curve, right? And that should take some of the pressure off. For some people, and this is now we're talking about 1%, this even feels too strong. You may want to have one foot down, one leg up. So you just have to figure out what works for you. But for the majority of people, 2 legs in the air will be fine. Now, once you're here, it's all about breathing. Breathe in wide. As you breathe out, I need you to connect belly button towards the spine. So you're tightening. Have your hands on your abs, around your belly button. Breathe in. You feel your ribs rising a little bit in your belly as well. As you breathe out, tighten. I feel my abs, my belly button moving away from my hands into the body. Breathe in wide. As you breathe out, you tighten. That's it. And that's the core connection we're looking for. We got this. Last 4. Breathe in, breathe out. Last 3. Last 2. Keeping the shoulders and the neck released so they're loose. Last 1. Well done. Hug your knees, and as you hug your knees, you're flattening your lower back into the floor, and it's actually a little stretch, so this is always really comfortable. Nice. but we have to start working again. So take the legs down, breathe in as you breathe out, right knee above the right hip bone, connect with your core, belly button towards the spine, second knee comes up. Single leg stretch. So we're going to have one knee coming in as you extend one leg. Go to where the wall meets the ceiling. So you've got one knee coming in, one leg extending. My lower back hasn't changed, so it's absolutely stable. It has its neutral curve. My hips are still stable, carrying that little cup of tea in the middle there. So keep everything aligned. If you're quite strong today, you can take your leg lower, but as this is a beginner's class, go half. Unless you're not really a beginner, then you can go and work harder. That's it. Last 4. Last 3. Last 2. Last one. Well done. From here, take the legs together. Again, release. If your hip flexors, front of your thighs are playing up a little bit, you can quickly release them by bringing the soles of the feet together, butterfly out, and that takes some of the pressure off. Perfect. So from here, I want to show you some hip stability. So you're going to take your legs back up, breathe in. As you breathe out, right knee above the right hip bone. Breathe in wide. Into the ribs. As you breathe out, you tighten, second knee comes up. Right, knees are over the hips. Now what we're going to do is your left leg stays, or your left knee stays exactly where it is. Actually, if anything, imagine you have your cup of tea. We're going to put it on the kneecap and keep it absolutely still. The right leg is going to fall to the side, but the hips don't move. So you can see what happens as you take your leg to the side. Make sure this other knee and hip doesn't move. Bring it back in. That's it. Breathe in, breathe out. Tighten. So the belly button towards the spine, that engagement will actually help to stabilize the hips as well. So for beginners, you can have your hands on the floor. It gives you extra stability. Actually, if you're quite stable, you can have your hands on the hip bones and let your elbows float, right? I've always found that when I teach, beginners come in at different levels. So although this is a beginner's class, you may actually have really stable hips and be fine to have your hands on the hips already. So it really depends. There is not this one level that works for everybody. Last 4. Last 3. Always breathe out as your leg goes to the side because you need it for stability. Last 2. Last one, last one. Well done, well done. Hug your knees. Little stretch again. Draw a little circle, which is lovely. And change direction, other side. Perfect, right. I'm going to go into a corkscrew. Corkscrew is actually quite a strong exercise, but I teach this to my beginners too, because you can actually control the size of the movement, and that will determine how hard you work. So I'll show you. So from here, breathe in as you breathe out, right knee above the right hip bone. Relax the shoulders, second knee comes up with control. Keep the control in your core, and then we're going to join the legs together, and I want you to straighten out as much as you can. So obviously, if you're quite tight in your hamstring, you may be here, and that's okay with me, as long as you try to straighten them out. In your corkscrew, you have a little bit of a bum lift towards you. Breathe in as you breathe out, you circle away. So let's do that again. You breathe in towards you, little bum lift, integrated. Breathe out, you circle away. Your circle could be quite small over your hips, and that's the beginner's level. As you get stronger, you can make your circle bigger and bigger, and your abs will have to work harder and harder. Doing good. It's quite a strong exercise, as you will find. Last 3. Last 2. Last one. We're going to change direction. So here we go. Breathe in towards you. Breathe out, circle away. Keep the legs together. So imagine it's one pencil drawing a circle on the floor, on the ceiling rather, and try and keep your shoulders relaxed. If they tense up, just keep putting them down in between reps. 2 more. Last one. Well done. And release. Hug from side to side. You're doing really well. You're doing really well. Right, so from here, I want to show you one more exercise. We're going to come into seated. So have your hand around the knee or just below the knee and get yourself up into seated. Keep your knees bent. Just going to target your six-pack muscle, but in a nice sort of safe way. So join the legs together, breathe in here as you breathe out. Take your tailbone under. That's it. You go as low as you can without losing control. Your shoulders should be quite relaxed. Breathe in. As you breathe out, tighten abs in, roll over the hips, straighten out. Give me 5 more. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in at your lowest point, breathe out, come back up. We got this. Breathe in, breathe out. If you're trembling a little bit, as long as you can hold the control, it's okay. If you lose control and you find that gravity is taking you down, you've gone a bit too low. Work at your level. 3 to go. Last 2. Doing really well. Last one. Almost there. Back up, well done. Cross your legs just to release your hip flexors as well. They have worked hard to stabilize you. And just relax around the hips and come into seated. So well done. Well done for completing this beginner's workout. If you like what you see, don't forget to check out my other videos on my channel, and maybe you like my channel as well. Also, I do a 7-day core strength challenge where I will teach you the Pilates technique and how to do these exercises with the perfect technique. So come and join me on calmpilates.com, and I'll see you on the mat. See you soon. Bye.